And we're back with more Danganronpa. In the last part, we got executed. Right? Yeah. Yeah, sure. Massive high school towers over all the buildings in this bustling urban area. It's like the school stands at the center of the entire world. Yeah, it's fine. I'm just kidding. We're just starting the game over. Free Academy brings in top students from every field imaginable, a government-funded school of privilege. They say that if you come here and manage to graduate, you'll be set for life. With hundreds of years of tradition, it sends the cream of the crop into the workforce every year. It was built to raise hope in the nation's future, which makes Hope's Peak a pretty fitting name. Yeah, there are two things you need to attend this school. One, you have to already be attending high school. Two, you have to be the very best at what you do. No ordinary student can enroll here. The only way is if you're scouted by the school itself. I'm standing at the gate of the ultimate school filled with the ultimate students. This is me. What? Where am I? I woke up with my head resting on top of a hard wooden desk. My body felt heavy. It wouldn't be weird for me to zonk off in the middle of some boring class or whatever, but what was I doing asleep here just now? It wasn't any classroom I'd ever been in before. What the heck is going on? Finally. I could finally feel my mind and body start to come back together again. And then I was awake. Or was this just another dream? A dream inside a hopeless nightmare. No, this isn't a dream. I could tell because the stench invading my nostrils was too powerful for a dream. What an awful smell. I was in a vast dark cavern, with the barest hint of light seeping in. Trash was piled high all across the area. This must be some kind of underground garbage pit. A heck of a situation to find myself in. But that was just the beginning of my problems. Was I gonna be stuck in there till I wasted away and died? No, I can't let that happen. Not after what my good friend went through to save me. I remember all too well what had happened. Well, there it is. Alter Ego saved me. And he used the last little bit of his strength to do it. So, I can't give up now. For myself and for my friend. And with that, my pursuit of survival began. First up was to start looking for a way out of here. Well, I want to first look at what we can look at. Because the door already facing us is sort of what we're going to be looking for, I'm guessing. So there's our desk I think we used. This is a desk. Probably the one that fell down here with me. Yep. What is this? What is that Monokuma thing? A rocket and a tank. I'd better not think too much about what I'm seeing down here. Alright, what's this over here? What is this? Is that an airplane? How'd something like this wind up in a school garbage pit? I don't know. And then last but not least, the door. It's locked. No matter how many times I pushed or pulled or kicked at it, it didn't budge. Getting out of here isn't gonna be that easy. Well, if I'm not getting out of here anytime soon, I decided to look around for some food. There's plenty of food here, but it's all rotten. But that was pointless too. Next I searched for some water, and how can I be sure which liquids I can drink, and which ones are all around bad idea? Again, pointless. I feel like I'm blocked in on all sides, but that's still not enough to give up because I'm still alive. As long as I'm alive, I'll never give up. After making that proud declaration, the next thing I decided to do was go to sleep. My sleep was deep and uninterrupted. That was my only way to preserve what little strength I had left after not being able to eat or drink. I can't be sure, but I think at least a full day had to have passed. And all I did was sleep and sleep. It was like I was waiting for some kind of sign to come falling out of the sky. However, what fell from the sky wasn't a sign. Not exactly. What the? Strange sound pierced my silent isolation, jarring me awake. As I watched, the pile of garbage jostled and formed an odd shape. Did something fall down over there? Something fell from up above. How could it have been? Well, what could it have been? Let's just check it out right here. Did a giant piece of trash just fall down here? Carefully stretched my hand out toward whatever it was that tumbled down here with me.
Just a second.
Piece of trash? Rude. Before she even emerged from the pile of garbage, I knew who it was.
It smells
The place
awful.
smells awful. Kyoko,
Indeed.
you look like you're doing better than I expected. What are you doing here?
So...
Isn't it obvious? I'm here to help you. I'm glad to hear that, Kyoko. You've got a bit of the garbage in your hair. She gave her head a quick, sharp shake to get rid of the trash and faced me again.
Hey.
First, I have something for you. Oh, go ahead and eat it. We can talk once you're finished. Thank you. Snatched the bread and water that she was holding out for me. Within seconds, it was in my mouth and making its way toward my stomach. That really hit the spot. Now I've got all the energy I need to keep going. Still haven't given up then. Of course not. After all, the fact that I can keep going forward is all I'm good at. Well, it's not such a bad thing to be good at. Let's look at the thing one more time. Unbelievable amount of trash here. Yep. Let's talk to Kyoko. But Kyoko, why do you come to rescue me?
So...
To pay a debt. Or, no, to atone. Atone?
You...
During the trial, even though you knew I was lying, you didn't say anything. So, you knew that I knew.
Indeed.
But even though I knew I did nothing to help you, I abandoned you. Don't say that. You didn't abandon me. That's exactly what I did. I abandoned you in order to save my own life. You're trying to save me and I couldn't bring myself to do the same for you.
However...
But listen, not that I'm trying to make excuses, but there was a reason that I had to survive no matter what the cost. Why do you have to survive?
It's true.
I'll tell you everything. The reason I have to survive
In other words...
is so that I can do what I came to do, to the school to do. What? I made up my mind to come to Hope Peak Academy for one very important reason. You have some reason for coming to Hope's Peak?
Indeed.
That's right, at least I did, once. Till recently I've forgotten what it was. You forgot, but that's... No memory of what my purpose was. No memory, that's impossible. Amnesia? Then it really is true? You lost your memory?
Makoto.
Do you remember, Makoto? Do you remember the first thing that happened to each of us as soon as we arrived at the school? First thing. Talk about when we fainted, right? I fainted when I woke, and when I woke up I was trapped here.
That's right.
I fainted too, and when I woke up, I noticed a strange feeling of separation within myself, a disconnect.
It would seem...
Thinking about it now, at this point, my memory was gone. That time I'd forgotten. I couldn't remember why I'd come to the school, and I couldn't remember what my ultimate ability was. But what would make you forget all that?
Hey.
Strange, isn't it? It's hard to imagine it happened by chance. It seems much too convenient. And you're saying you think you lost your memory because...
Indeed.
I don't think I'm positive it was the work... I'm positive it was the work of the mastermind. They stole my memory. But why would they want to do that? There's only one reason I can come up with. Because of my purpose and my ability, somehow they would interfere with the mastermind's plans. Mastermind just stole them from you?
However...
And it could also mean somehow my memories may be connected to the mystery of the school and the mastermind, which is why I have to get them back. That's why I've been investigating things by myself this whole time. But if what you say is true, why didn't you ask the rest of us to help you?
Why is that?
If it did that, we all worked as one, the mastermind would notice right away. Plus, there's always a chance that the mastermind is actually one of us. What?
Correct.
Well, don't make too big of a deal of it, it's just a possibility. But since it is a possibility, we can't ignore it, right? Mastermind one of us. If she believed that, then of course she couldn't trust anyone around her. In which case, it only makes sense that she would look into her missing memory by herself.
However,
That being said, there was a limit to what I could do by myself, which is why I asked you to help me. But why me? Because among everyone, you were least likely to be the mastermind. That was just intuition, but I see. Your intuition was right, though. There's no way an ordinary kid like me could have been the mastermind.
I understand. I should understand everything. My goal isn't to get out of here. It's to stay here.
It was just like the dream I had before, but why did that just happen?
listen.
Are you okay? Oh yeah, it's nothing. It is nothing, right?
Hey,
Even now, I still trust you, you know? It's just, I'm not used to relying on others.
correct.
I know I never asked you for help the right way, so I understand if you're not convinced. Honestly, I was convinced. I think that's just your personality. Yeah, sure. You said you had a reason for doing all the investigation on your own. So how'd that turn out? Were you able to remember anything?
So,
I think there's still a lot I don't remember, but at the very least, I was finally able to recall my purpose and my ability. You mentioned your ability. Yep, my ability, what everyone should have known me for. The ultimate detective. Whoa. That makes sense.
Correct.
Yeah, and the reason I came to Hope's Peak Academy is that there was someone I had to find here in the school. Who?
So,
Well, it was the headmaster of Hope's Peak Academy. Headmaster? Why do you want to find the headmaster? 'Cause he's my father. What?
in other words,
I was separated from him as a child. As it turns out, he became the headmaster of Hope's Peak. Kyoko's dad is Hope's Peak's headmaster, and that explains when Alter Ego told us how he thought the headmaster was involved.
I,
Find a way. Huh? No matter what it takes, I'll find the
no
headmaster.
matter what,
No matter the cost.
So,
Kyoko, what's going on? Yep.
I,
My memory hadn't come back at that point, but when he said that, I felt strange. It makes sense now, of course, since my whole purpose for coming here was to find him. That makes sense.
However-
But listen, Makoto, I want to make this perfectly clear so there's no misunderstanding. I said the headmaster wasn't the mastermind, but I didn't say that to protect him. I only said that, I said what I felt based on what I'd seen when I snuck into the headmaster's room. What did you see in there?
so,
The room had been ransacked, the shelves were a mess, the desk drawers dumped on the floor. The only conclusion is that someone who didn't know where anything was had been in there. You mean the mastermind, right?
it's true.
That was my assumption, yes, and to confirm my suspicion, I decided to investigate the second floor of the dorms using the key I'd found. But why there? Because I also found this in the headmaster's room. Some kind of map.
Indeed.
It's a layout of the entirety of Hope's Peak Academy. Found it in the headmaster's room along with Mukuro's profile and that key. The map showed the second floor was home to a number of rooms meant for faculty use. Some of the staff must have had to stay overnight from time to time. I figured the headmaster would have some kind of private room there. I assumed that if that were true, the room would likely hold more clues. So I went to check.
Correct.
And that's when I finally remembered that my purpose was to find the owner of that room. So you wanted to see if the headmaster really did have a private room there.
However,
But once I got there, I noticed that the second floor of the dorm didn't have any cameras or monitors. So, what was it like, that part of the school, I mean? Hard to describe, all I can say is, the moment I saw it, I realized whatever's going on in the school is more horrific than we ever imagined. What do you mean?
so,
Can't explain, I need you to see it for yourself, and I'm sure you'll get a chance soon enough. Sounds like it must be important, and really ominous. Wow, we're just getting a lot. We're just learning everything, right? Which is why I had no idea what was going on in the rest building. Has to do with Mukuro Kisaba, doesn't it?
however,
Just to be perfectly clear, I didn't kill her. I know it wasn't you either. I know you're right, but that just means everyone but you and me had an alibi, so then who did kill her?
anyway,
And I can say for sure that the mastermind is directly involved. To begin with, the point of the class trial of Mukuro Ikusaba was to get me killed. Get you killed.
Indeed.
So the key disappeared, and in retaliation they wanted to draw me out and eliminate me.
Correct.
That was the point of the last trial. It was? The mastermind knew they couldn't interview directly. You mean because of the school regulations?
That's right.
Exactly. Minimal restrictions, you are free to explore Hope's Peak Academy at your discretion. She wasn't breaking a
In
rule.
other words,
The mastermind is adamant about following the rules, and with the result in place, and with that rule in place, they couldn't step in. Since they couldn't kill me themselves, they tried to use a class trial to do it. The mastermind can step in because of those rules. Makes it sound like the mastermind themselves is somehow bound by the school regulations.
hey,
There's one other thing I'd like to point out about the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba. What's that? There's a point where Mukuro may not have become the victim. It could have been you, Makoto. Oh shit. I could have become the victim.
indeed.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Do you mean... that was, we were plan A. During the night. Mukuro, oh jeez, I couldn't hear them, you know. The footsteps of the god of death. What? I can hear the god of death as he moves. The ability naturally draws me into cases just like this.
Anyway,
Which is exactly what happened with you. I was in the dorms and I had a sense of dread. I looked down the stairwell. I saw a white shadow cross the corridor. Gave chase right away. As I followed it, I saw the shadow go into your room.
correct.
Ran into your room and I saw what was happening. I intervened immediately, of course.
However,
That was in the end of things, of course. Stopped them, but that led to whoever the masked assailant was. They ended up dead.
correct.
And the murder was disguised, and the dojo key wound up in my room. And it all has to be the work of the mastermind in an attempt to use the class trial to eliminate me. All this would mean that whoever killed Mukuro is also the mastermind, right?
Indeed.
I don't have the conclusive evidence, but that's what I think. But that's really bad if true. It means the mastermind can kill whoever they want if they feel like it. But doesn't that create another contradiction? The mastermind wanted to use the class trial to try and kill you because they couldn't interfere, right?
Correct.
Right, that is a contradiction. And it's not just Mukuro. They needed the class trial to kill me, but seemed ready to kill you in your room. Everything they did is a contradiction. What does it all mean?
In other words,
It means the mastermind is the one who's been cornered.
Makoto.
Just a little more, and I should be able to figure out the mastermind's identity. The identity of the other ultimate despair. The other ultimate despair? No doubt that Mukuro was the ultimate despair and that she's dead. But I don't think the ultimate despair is just one person. It's not.
Indeed.
If you think about it, the ultimate despair seems to implicate whoever caused that event. You're talking about
That's right.
whatever happened a year ago, the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. A tragedy, whoever responsible for that. They're the ultimate despair.
It would seem
The despicable group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair. Then
indeed.
make no mistake, they're the root of all evil, and that has forced us to go through this. They're the root of all evil that has forced us to go through this, yep. That is the ultimate despair, and that is our real enemy. And 6 still remain. Dream Island Rocket. I think we've seen one of those before. Yes, let's save. There we go. The Ultimate Despair. A group of people who caused the tragedy 1 year ago. And the same people put together this killing game and began broadcasting it around the world. The most desperately awful group of people ever. That is the Mastermind's true identity. Our enemy has finally been revealed. But right now we have to get out of this horrible place. Figuring out the rest of the school, a story can come after. You're right. So let's talk with her. Kyoko, do you have that one thing? Monikumi's secret tool that you got from the headmaster room?
Indeed.
Of course I do. Absolutely vital part of ensnaring the mastermind. I would never part with it. You can open the door, any door in the school, right?
That's right.
And we should be able to use it on that door, right? This one. This one right here. We can use the key of yours to open this door, right?
It's true.
Let's find out. Click the design on the slit keyhole and then click. Yes, it opened.
Indeed.
And now we can get out of here. Let's go. Sounds good. We opened the door and made our escape from the garbage pit. And finally, we were finally free. But there wasn't even time to take a breath of relief because the real fight had just begun. Chapter 6. Ultimate pain, ultimate suffering, ultimate despair, ultimate execution, ultimate death, and straight into the deadly life. After leaving the garbage pit, we found ourselves in a tunnel extending straight up like a chimney. There's a metal ladder leading up into the tunnel. We started climbing the ladder, intent on reaching the surface. The ladder was impossibly long, and I couldn't even see where it ended. We climbed into the darkness. The passage was so dark and cramped I couldn't even see my own feet beneath me. I had no idea we were so far down.
Hey.
Don't lose your footing. If you slip, I won't be able to catch you. Yeah, I'll be careful. Now that you said that, I'm getting kind of nervous. Maybe talking will keep my mind off it. So, Kyoko, there's something I wanted to ask you. You said you're the ultimate detective, right? So, how long have you been doing detective work? How long?
So...
Ever since I can remember. I come from a long line of detectives. Detective work is in my blood. There was a time when being a detective was considered a sacred duty. My family's always seen it that way. Then, is your family famous?
Wrong.
Quite the opposite, actually. Even among actual detectives, many people haven't heard of us. But how come? It's like a family tradition, right? So,
Right.
because we take pride in it.
Indeed.
A detective is neither light nor shadow. We represent neither justice nor evil. That is how we can uncover the absolute truth. We stand neutral in all things, and to do that, we have to stand separate from the rest of society, which is why we've made a conscious effort to conceal our existence. Conscious effort.
It's true.
It's kind of old-fashioned. I can't say it's entirely rational, but it's our family creed, and we do what we must to protect it. Because, like I said, it's our source of pride. So that explains. Before I came here, when I was looking up info about the school online, never saw anything about her, because she hid herself on purpose to protect the pride of her family.
However...
And yet, I gave up some of that pride. Huh? In order to enter Hope's Peak, I had to reveal myself to the school. I did it knowing it was something a true Kirigiri detective would never do. The reason I gave up that pride, the reason you would go so far to enter Hope's Peak, is because of how much you wanted to reconnect with your dad, right? There's no shame in that.
What?
Reconnect. I had absolutely no desire to reconnect with my father. Huh? Well, but you'd be reuniting after all those years, right? We would have had so much to talk about.
Wrong.
There's nothing I want to talk to my father about.
However...
There's something I wanted to say to him, though. What? No matter what it takes, I have to find him and tell him face to face. What is it?
So...
I want to sever all ties with him. Sever? The last time I saw him, I was still very young, so I don't remember myself, but apparently he was extremely intelligent. He was in line to become the next head of the Kirigiri family. He was talented and had a promising future.
However...
But he had no interest in detective work, so he cut himself off from the family. Not long after that, my mother died, and he simply ran away. He went to my grandfather, and they had a huge argument, and young as I was, he left me behind. Sure, there's a reason for that. I'm sure your dad wanted to take you with him.
Right.
If that's true, then I need to thank him. Thank him for leaving me, because unlike him, I take pride in the work I do. Take pride in my family's name, so every last part of me is happy he didn't take me with him. If I'd gone with him, I never would have had the chance to become a detective. It's above Kyoko on the ladder, so I wasn't able to see her expression, so I couldn't tell. I couldn't see how she looked when she said that, and what she might have been feeling. All I could tell was that compared to her usual self, she was more talkative, and more emotional. I don't blame him, you know. He has his own life to live. That's what anyone in my position might say, right? but it's not true.
However,
There's one thing. One more thing I can never forgive. Really?
so
The way everyone else looked at me. I was never sad about it being left behind. Like I said, I think it was a good thing.
however,
But when the rest of my family looked at me, they saw something different. They only saw me as the little girl that was abandoned by her father. That's how they see me even to this day. A shadow has been following me my entire life. I'm sick of it. I need him out of my life. I need to step out of the shadow.
correct.
That's why I have to find him and tell him we're no longer family. In order to settle the past. In order to remove him from my life forever. I have no doubt you forgot about me years ago. Your family. To just cut him out like that.
Wrong.
Our only connection is through blood, nothing more. And we're connected by heart and soul. Are we connected by heart and soul? No.
Hey,
Is blood really enough to call someone family? Only connected by blood, not by heart and soul. I was so shocked to hear her say something like that. Didn't know how to respond. So instead, I said nothing. Just kept climbing the ladder in complete silence. And after, I don't know how long, we finally reached the top. This is the same picture, I think. Oh, nope, never mind. Looks like this is it.
indeed.
The other side of the door, of this door is Hope's Peak. The Hope's Peak is waiting for us. We're back.
That's right.
Remember that hatch on the ground near the trash room? I'm fairly certain this is where it will come out. I unlocked it earlier, so it should open without much trouble. Well, here goes nothing. Reached my right hand up and pushed up against the hatch. And the hatch opened with ease, and so... Well, here we are. We haven't been here in a while. Looks like we're back. Can't believe how long the ladder was. I'm exhausted. I can't exactly say we're safe and sound, but at least we're out of there. Now we're back in Hope's Peak Academy. Kyoko, thank you. I never would have gone out there without you. No thanks necessary. I was just returning the favor. Yep. So is there a camera in here? There is. So, like, what happens if we check it out? So here on the camera is the mastermind watching us even now. Let's go back down. That's how we got out of the garbage pit. I never had imagined that's where this led. It's just a huge ladder. Not with Kyoko. So, now what do we do? I'm glad I didn't die, of course, but if the mastermind finds out... I'm worried about you too. You helped me, so they might...
Listen.
You're worried? Yeah, of course.
So then,
And let's just get the concrete answer, huh?
in other words,
Let's ask Monokuma if there's a problem with you escaping. Wait, that's...
however,
If we try to hide, it's only a matter of time till we're found. It's not like we can run away. She said as she pointed at the nearby surveillance camera. I already noticed it too. So you're saying rather than stressing out over getting caught, we should just give up now? Don't worry. What you think is going to happen isn't. Because the mastermind is the one that's ensnared. The mastermind is ensnared. You said something like that before. What does it mean?
so
The mastermind still exposed during the investigation into Murkuro's death. There's a moment where the mastermind let their guard down. There was?
right.
If we can talk to Monokuma, we can confirm it. It'll be better for us if we can go to him directly before he tracks us down. That should help with our negotiation. Still a little... No, super uneasy about this. But we don't really have a choice, do we?
Indeed.
Monokuma should be in the gym.
Shall we go?
Let's get going. Yeah, let's go. Oh, jeez. Leave the area. And the last time we were in there was to investigate Saike Maizono's death. Jesus. Alright, well, let's just run over there. Don't think we should ever really look around. Gotta head straight to the gym. I'm sure they already noticed that we're alive and walking around now. God damn. Here we are. It's nighttime too. Alright. And he says it's been at least like a day, or at least felt like it. So, let's just go inside. Monica should be in here. Just sitting around doing whatever, right? Hey, 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 hey! Kyoko, I don't mind so much. But Makoto's supposed to be dead. What's he doing here? That's exactly how I thought he'd react. Are we really gonna be okay? You're supposed to be punished. Did Kyoko help you?
What?
So what if I did? What will you do? If the guilty party is exposed during the class trial, they alone will be executed. That's unfortunate, but that is the rule.
Making me angry.
So now I gotta punish you again. At this time, and this time I won't leave anything to chance.
Right.
Do whatever you feel I have to. What?
However,
But before you do, let me just say one thing.
now,
If you execute Makoto, that means you lose. Not that that matters to you, right? Huh? I lose?
Hey!
You, explain yourself. What do you mean by that?
because
Well, you set up this latest class trial yourself, right? I was getting in your way, so you wanted an excuse to kill me.
in other words,
I was supposed to be chosen as a black and then executed, right? Hey, what are you talking about?
however,
When Makoto chose to overlook my lie, your plan came crashing down. The result of the trial weren't at all what you were expecting. Because you never imagined that in that position, one person would protect another like that.
right,
And in response to that unexpected development,
indeed.
I reacted to it by proclaiming Makoto the blackened and trying to execute him. You made the choice out of desperation, no more than that. You must have realized that Makoto, who refused to be manipulated was a threat to you as well.
However,
But there was another unexpected development waiting for you. An entity that would throw a wrench, so to speak, in your precious execution machinery. Alter ego. Never imagined that possibility of being that could come to our aid even after you killed it.
am I wrong?
Now here's the absolute truth. Makoto didn't kill Mukuro, you did.
Listen to me.
So executing Makoto for it would surely be a violation of your rules, which I know you love so much. If the blackened is exposed, they alone will be executed. That's what you told us, right? And that means I lose? You didn't talk a big game. You're saying the blackened is me and not Makoto?
Well,
You can prove this, right?
Well,
No, I can't. Don't just say it like that. What is this, a comedy routine? To make such a bold claim without a shred of evidence.
that doesn't matter.
I don't have any right now, but with a little more time, I guarantee I'll find some.
That's right.
Because no matter how deeply you try to bury it, there's only ever one absolute truth. No, you're trying to talk like some kind of famous detective type.
Because
If Makoto really was the killer, he would never have come to you willingly like this. He would have feared for his life, feared another execution. He would have tried to run and hide. He would have been gripped by the despair you so love to inspire.
however,
But here we are, confronting you with nothing but hope in our hearts.
what the heck?
And that's supposed to be enough to convince me in this absence of evidence.
indeed.
It's not you I'm trying to convince.
Hey,
If you were to execute Makoto now, everyone out there watching this would be extremely displeased. Huh?
indeed.
Imagine what everyone out there would think if you killed Makoto. They would assume that you killed him because what we said exactly right.
Listen to me.
Despair can never kill hope.
Hey,
Of course, you can say we're just making this all up. You're welcome to prove us wrong. No, you have no choice but to prove it. Because if you kill Makoto without proving your own innocence, you'll be accepting your own defeat. If you want to earn our despair fair and square,
that's what we have to
I
do.
suggest you take my advice. So what is this advice of yours?
It's true.
To do Mukuro's trial over again. Only this time you should follow the school regulations to ensure a fair trial.
It's time for one last showdown. One final battle between hope and despair. Hey,
Well, that would make for a proper climax, wouldn't you say? A fair trial, one last showdown, in other words. This would be our chance to expose the true identity of Mukuro's killer, or the mastermind themselves. But what reason would the mastermind have to accept the challenge? They'll probably just execute me without another word. Interesting.
Barrett!
Very interesting indeed. Barry?
What's wrong?
Oh, I was getting bored, so I decided to change things up a little. Sometimes prepare jokes. Now, what you suggested might be possible. It would certainly make for one honey of a climax.
in other words,
I mean, you accept.
You guys!
If we do things your way, it'll be enough to convince you and the viewers, right? It would cause you unbearable despair, right? And I'm prepared to agree to your terms. Will your hope win out, or will my despair claim victory?
I can barely contain myself!
Let's have one final grisly showdown. Agreed. Then we still have a shot at this.
Barrett!
This is a long-awaited climax, right? Just guessing the killer's Barry, It was barely a fitting end.
You guys!
So to final face off, you'll have to unearth all the mysteries that have been buried here. All the mysteries. That's right, every last mystery that's pawing around in the school. If you can do that,
I can barely contain myself!
then that'll be enough to qualify as a victory for you.
It's true.
That's what we've been trying to do all along. Okay, well good then, let's bear it all. You can claw your way out of the truth of Mukuro's death and then solve the mystery of the school.
You guys!
Then you win. But you can't do all that. You'll all face execution, right? I can barely contain my excitement. When you learn this whole truth, what kind of despair will you show me? Or excited as you are, I'm sure.
Listen to me.
When you even cover every last truth, how will the ultimate despair reveal their own despair? I honestly can't believe how this all turned out.
Hey,
Before we get started, I want to clarify one more thing. Do you remember the rule? When one student kills another, that's when a class trial is held.
What's wrong?
I remember that for sure. So what?
hey,
I want to confirm that is what you said, right? And it's a true statement? You don't have to be so vicious. I've said it before, but it bears repeating. Everything is based on the school regulations, and having a trial for Mukuro is no exception to that. Mukuro's trial is no exception, then. Part of the regulation. Which would have to mean that whoever killed Mukuro... A very polarizing approach, I know, but okay, enough puns. Anyway, here's a hint. I'm sure you've told you this already, but... The killing game began with 16 participants, all of them high school students. And the only people to take a single step in Hope's Peak since the killing game began are those 16 students. What?
listen.
Are you telling the truth? Why do you go all quiet all so long? Oh.
Now I'm really angry!
I'm done talking. I got nothing left to say to you. Get lost, would ya? Why so mad? He seems emotionally unstable.
Hey!
Leave him alone. Get out of here. Okay, I'm just gonna... You're really gonna let me go? I don't even care anymore. You're not gonna get your punishment later anyway. Start getting ready. A super duper extra special punishment overflowing with despair.
Hey,
Come on, Makoto, let's go. Okay. Alright. Monoku's unstable laughter seemed to cling to us as we walked away. Just like that, we're out of the gym. Well, let's greet with all the others now, right? I think it'll be fine. Right? Can hardly believe it, but somehow I ended up not getting executed. I still had my life and we still had a chance. Overall, this thing turned out way better than expected. Once again, I was in Kyoko's debts.